Meditation in English on 18th Sunday in Ordinary Time on July 31st, 2022. Choices in life that cause the butterfly effect. This year, which has come to the end of July, what have you filled in the container of life? Through the time and space of your life, what has been filled in that vessel? Of course, life is given regardless of our own plans or wills. And in the content of our lives, the role of peripheral factors such as people and events that influenced our own environment and growth process was also very important. However, it is clearer that the choices and decisions we make in life and the meaning we seek are ultimately up to us. If you live without pursuing any meaning here, your life itself is vanity and has fundamental absurdities. In that sense, Chang-Jun Lee, author of the book I Am Against Being Tamed, which I have been reading frequently these days, said, "The true life is to create and discover the meaning of life on your own in the existential awareness of living an empty life. And the more important thing than finding an answer is to go through the process of asking and searching. When there is no such process, anxiety and emptiness overtake our lives. Vanity of vanities. All things are vanity. What profit comes from to man from the old toil and anxiety of heart with which he has labored under the sun?" Like these words, I was deeply immersed in contemplation of how lonely a day would be if I didn't look into what remains in my life, what I want to live through my life, and what I must live through my life. Ultimately, this is all about the purpose of life. I was wondering here, is the purpose of life, as people often conclude, really happiness? So, what is that happiness? I would like to add some of these questions here. First of all, when are you truly happy, and what is true happiness? Saint Bishop Augustine once explained the value of life step by step. First, material value. In fact, it is said that this may or may not exist. Second, the vital value. It is because this value is important for efforts to cure diseases. Third, spiritual value. Seeing this value as important, people sacrifice their lives for the sake of their ideology. Fourth, personal values. And finally, absolute values. So, does your life change depending on what values you have? And does the color of happiness change accordingly? Where is the value of happiness that brings true meaning to our lives so that they are not in vain? However, I believe that choosing the value of happiness is important. But the direction of happiness is also really important. This is because happiness can be something that stays in the value of me, ourselves as individuals, or it can move on to the value of you, the person who makes a relationship with us. And what if we combine the Lord's intentions in it? If you were raised with Christ, seek what is above. You have taken off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed for knowledge in the image of its Creator. The old self may know happiness, but it is only in the direction toward myself. This means that what I want to do is the center, and in the end, being living doing what I want to do is called happiness. You can see that by looking at our changes. When we are young, we want our own dreams to come true and we want to live out our favorite hobbies and talents. However, when you know and realize love, from a family or community, become a parent or take on a certain role, a change in a new direction takes place from the life of wanting to be loved and looking for what you want. In other words, for the sake of the other person, for our children, and for those around us, the center shifts in the direction of asking what is more important and what should we do for ourselves. Furthermore, we have an expanded hope of helping our loved ones grow and mature into better beings through our own lives, even deeply engraving spiritual values. William Damon of Stanford University once expressed the term purpose as a stable, generalized intention to accomplish something that is meaningful to oneself, as well as something significant for the world beyond oneself. I want to say this in faith. Earlier, in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, for what is man born? The answer to the question asked is, man was born to know and honor God and to save his soul. This answer takes precedence over the teaching that by putting yourself before God, you can understand the meaning of your life. And the meaning of saving one's own soul is an exhortation to deepen yourself as a new person who knows the Lord according to the will of God. It is an invitation to become a companion walking with the Lord, not to be buried in the values of the world, but to be a person who embraces the fragrance of God and lives the meaning of a blessed life. Worldly values delight our senses and certainly bring us the happiness of the moment, but they fade away because it seems rich. But the more you pile it up, the more empty it is. So, even if we add and plot, we say that the sum eventually be zero. So, I would like to call the way of building things in this world a zero-sum game. But will it be for all who store up treasure for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God? On the other hand, a true life that has a clear purpose and is achieved through devoted love and effort, although seemingly trivial, conveys a valuable impression. And it is socially contagious. This positive contagion starts with one loved one and passes from the one loved one to the other. And that love continues and spreads with a ripple effect. This is the impression of a life of love that shines as a new person. Impression means that it touches the heart of the person and makes them move. How about cultivating our lives meaningfully so that we can create a butterfly effect that starts with a change in ourselves? The visible things are zero-sum that disappears even when they are piled up. But the traces of life that are nurtured by invisible values are filled with blessings and graces that never disappear. Where would you like to place your choice between vanity and hope?